Good morning and welcome to Community Conversations. I'm Vicki Green. We often tackle health concerns, the survivors, disease research, access to care, and today's show is about all of that in one big event coming up in central Massachusetts with others all over the country and the world. It's Relay for Life. You might have heard of it, but you might not know about how to get involved or where the money goes. So we're here to talk about it with two very important people. It's the American Cancer Society's biggest event of the year, raising money for research and much more. And here with me today to talk about it are two people who have walked the walk and can talk the talk, pun intended. So we have Denise McKenney from Hubbardston.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Susan Kierstead from West Boylston.
Good morning.
Now, just for folks that don't know, Hubbardston, northern part of the state, Route 2, Fitchburg, Gardner, out that way. West Boylston, closer to Worcester. But you ladies have been involved. Denise, you're a longtime relay participant and event team leader, right?
Yes, I am.
And Susan, you are a longtime Relay for Lifer and former New England Relay we're on the advisory team for helping other people. Because we're going to talk about the wonderful walk going on in Worcester, but there's walks everywhere. And that's the thing, too. I think people hear about Relay for Life and start questioning, where is one? How much money do I have to raise? There's so many charities doing things, wonderful things, that people have to make a decision. And so I think when they hear your stories, it's really going to have an impact. It's a fun night and day. And since late March, there have been approximately, I did this on my own, I went online, 20 walks at least, just from the end of March. So in the last 8 weeks. In Central Mass and Metro West. The official Worcester Walk is celebrating its 25th year. It starts around 4 on Friday, June 14th, right?
Correct.
And runs through June 15th with closing ceremonies around 2. So it's dedication. That's a lot of dedication for an incredible cause. So there's still time to join a team, donate, volunteer. And ladies, you can join at the event?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Or you can go online, donate to a friend's page, and we can talk about that. So we're going to talk about your personal reasons for walking, and then we'll talk about how it got started. So Denise, why did you first get involved with this? How many years ago? How many walks have you done?
I've been involved in the Worcester Relay for Life for 14 years.
Wow.
My mother-in-law was first diagnosed with breast cancer, and I used to walk with her. And then when she passed away in 2007, I formed my own team, Barbara's Buddies, in her name. And throughout the years, I've had a lot of people who have had cancer. Many are survivors, and some have passed away. They're really doing great things nowadays with research. And just recently, a year and a half ago, my father was diagnosed with, first of all, it was skin cancer, and then a year later, he overcame that and was in remission. And after that, he developed liver cancer. And he is cancer-free from that right now as well.
Wow, that's
so
great.
They are doing really, really good things.
With the American Cancer Society, backing everybody. And I saw from you both have individual pages, and people can, and there are team pages, and you can find that. We'll put the links to the websites up on our station website after the show airs, and everybody will have access. But you can go to Google the American Cancer Society Relay for Life. You put in your zip code. I did it. And it shows you the walks within your area. But so if you put in your town or your zip code and you're listening from Boston area, you're listening from southern New Hampshire, northern Rhode Island, northern Connecticut, we reach a lot of people, or you're listening on your way through the state and you live somewhere else, go ahead and put your zip code in and you will find a walk near you. So before we get to Susan, I don't think people realize, and I know I didn't until, that's why I love doing this show, how this started. And that it was just one man that started this. So quickly, in 1985, out in Tacoma, Washington, a doctor who you had told me before the show was an oncologist, which I didn't know, Dr. Gordon, they called him Gordy Klatt, wanted to raise money for the American Cancer Society. So he decided to walk and run for 24 hours, because why not, around a track. And he circled the track as everyone watched him. He totaled more than 80 miles and raised $27,000, one guy. As he was walking, he was thinking about, gee, you know what? How could I make this into a bigger event? So the next year he organized. He got 19 teams. That's 30 years ago this started. He got 19 teams, and first Relay for Life was out in Washington State, $33,000. So one man on a mission, and he battled stomach cancer. but then passed away not too long ago, 2014, from heart failure. But his legacy lives on in every face and every person that does these relays for life in this state and around the world. So, Denise, why did you start walking?
I walked with my mother-in-law because she had breast cancer.
But did you have friends that had done it as well?
No.
Nobody.
She just got out on her own and started walking with the Worcester Relay for Life, so I joined her. And then after she passed away, like I said before, I formed my own team in her memory.
How do you form a team for people that are listening? You don't have have to have a team, by the way.
No, you can walk. You can come down and walk 1 lap, 10 laps. You can form a team.
And you
There
can
are
go
many
online
ways
and
to
put the
help
money?
out, volunteer. You go online, you register your team. You do a few fundraisers. I have a very small team. Our major fundraiser that we decided to do was my team cooks. We do hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, water, soda at the event, and that's our.
Oh, wow. I was going to say, where's my hamburger?
That's our fundraiser. We do a couple little fundraisers throughout the year as well, but it's very simple to do. It doesn't take a lot of work. A lot of the teams do baskets at the event, so you can do raffles at the event.
Because they each have a tent, right?
Everybody has a tent, and we're there for a good cause. It's a great cause.
All right. So, Susan, how about your story?
I've been walking about 10 years. My sister actually started a team with where she worked a few years before that. She started because my nephew had a cancerous tumor behind his eye at only a few months old.
Oh, my goodness.
So she started a team. The year I started, my brother found out he had lung and bone cancer, was diagnosed in May, and died in September. So really hit home. It was fast. We really didn't have time to come to terms with what had happened. So I joined her team as a way to have an outlet, a way to express myself, raise money for the American Cancer Society. So hopefully other people won't come across something that's so devastating fast.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because American Cancer Society, like I said, does tons of work, research being a big part of it. But, I looked at, where the money, everyone questions where their money goes when they're deciding on charities. And it's approximately 80 cents on the dollar, 20 cents goes to, administration and running these things. But the number of grants they give out are phenomenal. We'll go over that later. So, Susan, do you have your own team now?
We do. We've had our own team. Since I joined, we split off from the store because they kind of went away a little bit. So my sister and I decided to take it on. We had a really large team. We're down to just 4 people now, but we're still raising. We're over almost $3,000 now between the 4 of us. And the more money we raise, it's exciting to raise money knowing that it's going for a good cause, and it just pulls at your heart.
Well, I can see that, and people can't see your face, but the passion, and it's almost like you're smiling, but you're sad, but you're making something positive out of it, and that's really, I guess, the message for the event, right?
Right.
And even if you don't have someone in your direct family, good chance you know someone who does.
Right.
So survivors walk, right? They do a lap at the beginning. And
Yes.
Caregivers, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I have a really good friend of mine, Mike, who in 2007 he was found out he had metastasis to his right tibia,
Yep,
and
it
had
metastasized.
to have it removed. Then he found out he had kidney cancer, stage 4, and had one of his kidneys removed. And thereafter, he found out he had a tumor on his
Oh, my
brain
God.
and had laser surgery and had it removed. He remained so positive throughout the whole. He's been cancer-free since 2007 now.
He
It's
had 3
amazing-
battles and he's cancer-free?
Amazing story. He cooks for our team. He's amazing. He very positive outlook, and so there are many good things that come out of.
And Susan, I'm sure you've seen that. That's amazing.
Yes.
3 different battles?
He did, yes.
Multiple people in my family have had cancer of one sort or another, but they all come to the relay, and it's a place where you can go and everybody knows what you're going through, what you've been through, and we're all supportive of each other, and it's just a wonderful thing. You can't really put words
You
to
can't.
the feelings that you get when you're there.
And I think it says it all, the amount of years you guys have, you've been doing this 10, you've been doing this 14. I mean, that's amazing to really commit. And people too think you have to have these big fundraisers. It does help. But you can go online. I've seen some teams are 4 people, some teams are from a company like AbbVie, I think is doing it, and they've got like 30 people. You can bring one person, or you can show up that day and volunteer, right? You can go through the website. And some teams have their own websites, but not everybody does, right? I mean, you have to set it up. So,
Right.
So you can show up that day, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And again, I always think to myself, like I said before, there's so many charities. You know, how I can't be everywhere at once. Where am I going to have the most impact? And what if I don't have a lot of money? A lot of people are sitting there probably thinking, I don't know, really for life, it's wonderful, it's awesome, but there's so many of them. But every dollar makes a difference. And it doesn't matter. I saw the donations. Some people donate $5. Some people donate $100. But you don't have to. If you got $5, you got $5. And that's $5, it's, to your point, it sounds like what you're saying is going to help somebody and put a
Yes.
smile on somebody's face. So, Susan, when you talk about the stories, when I was on your donation page, I actually counted, because there's on each of your pages, there's a section that says Why I Relay. And on your page, you named at least 16 people who you're walking in memory of, and 13 friends or survivors, and you've mentioned some of them. So what would you tell people that they don't have a team, they're not sure if they should do this event with their money? You know, what would you say, you know, if they're concerned about not having enough money to donate? Do they have to be there for a whole day and night?
No, you can come down. You can do a couple laps around the track. We have, like I said before, we have basket raffles. You can take your chances on basket. We have some nice baskets that come out of our relay. You can come down. You can help. We have a survivors reception on Friday night. You can come down. We need volunteers anytime.
So why don't we talk about too? Let's walk us through. Susan, can you walk us through? It starts with around 4 o'clock on Friday.
Sure. It starts at 4 with a survivor reception where you can go sign up. You'll get a survivor T-shirt. We feed you. We have donations from Olive Garden and Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Oh, wow.
And you can come and have dinner. You can come and meet other survivors, share your stories, share your support. Then you can walk the track. We invite the caregivers to walk with the survivors.
Let's stop there for a minute. Yeah. Caregivers is something that it comes up often, but I don't think often enough. And when I do stories, I did a show on ALS, I did one on Parkinson's, and there were survivor or current people struggling. And nobody, it's interesting. Some people, a lot of them don't want to say, I need help. I need a caregiver. And on the other side, it is a lot for a caregiver. And sometimes people forget that. Would you agree?
Yes. I think that caregivers feel guilty that they need to take care of themselves, but it's really hard to take care of somebody else if you don't take care of yourselves first. So that's why we like to have a caregiver walk to honor those caregivers. Because, let's face it, without caregivers, our survivors are alone in the world, so to speak. And they really depend on those caregivers, and it just is really nice to do for them. We also do a caregiver breakfast on Saturday morning just to say thank you.
All right.
Hard work, yeah.
Yeah. So you do this. I stopped you there, but we did survivors reception. Then you do caregiver walk. Then what happens?
The luminary. We have a luminaria ceremony.
Yes, we do a luminaria ceremony at 9 o'clock at night.
So after it gets dark.
After it gets dark. So I'm in charge of the luminaria ceremony. I have been for a few years now.
Oh, I love that.
And so we come up with something different every year, but it's a time for everybody to quiet their bodies, remember those that have passed, have hope for those that are trying to survive now and that have survived. We do a ceremony, and at the end of the ceremony, we light all the luminary bags around the track, and we have a bagpiper who leads all the attendees around the track. It's really a solemn time. It's a time of a lot of tears, but a lot of smiles, because you're remembering the good times, even though you're sad. And it's again hard to explain, but it's so heartwarming to just be there and be in the moment.
Well, I can see the visual of a luminary too. It's the brown paper bag, right, where you put, just so people understand what we're talking about. I have friends that did it on Halloween, but this is the brown paper bags with a light inside, and people can decorate the bags. Is
Yes,
that right?
decorate them, put names on them. Some put pictures on them. Some have one name, some have 12 names, but they line the entire track. We put candles in them at the luminary ceremony, and I can be walking the track at 4 o'clock in the morning, and a majority of them are still burning. And it just is an all-night, just wonderful thing to do.
Okay, so then when you have people are walking, someone has to be walking from your team. So everybody else overnight, there's like a movie, there's things to do, there's games and movies until the next day,
Right.
where I saw there's a pajama walk.
Yes.
So people are in tents and they sleep there if they want to, or I'm sure they can come back.
Some people do sleep there in tents, and some people leave and come back for the next day. But we try to have at least one person on the track at all times. So on Saturday morning, we have. I'm actually on the event committee for the schedule of events. We have a pajama lap in the morning, caregiver breakfast that we mentioned before. We're going to have a 25th year birthday lap, favorite holiday costume lap.
Wait, favorite holidays? You could come dress up in an ugly sweater when it's like
Yes, you
80
can.
degrees out.
We have fun. Saturday's a fun day. We try to keep it fun, keep different things going on around the track. We have a favorite sports team lap, a fight back ceremony.
What's that?
At 11. We have a speaker. Go ahead.
Yep.
Yep.
It's just a time for people to listen to how we can fight back against cancer. Could be how to prepare ourselves so we don't get skin cancer, or how to prepare ourselves so that we can maybe have healthy bodies and try not to get cancer, even though our bodies will decide that on their own.
Yep.
But it's just a little fight back ceremony to kind of give a 1-2 punch to cancer.
Oh, wouldn't we love that, I tell you. Okay, so then
We're
what happens?
also having a 25-year float parade around the track.
That's out-
different teams are making different little floats. Mine's just a box car, but it's all decorated for relays, so it's a lot of fun. And then we get prizes for these events as well.
So there's literally a float parade, because I've looked at what some people just do. Most people have activities and games at their walks, but I was looking at what other towns have done. I don't think I've seen anyone do a float parade. And granted, 25th anniversary, this is probably one of the oldest walks around.
Yes.
So that's great. Is this the first year you've done the float parade?
I've done one.
We did
a
one.
5 years ago or so.
And it
Yes,
goes over
yes,
well.
It
That's-
does.
yeah.
It's fun.
It's a lot of fun. And then we have a girl who comes and does Zumba, and everybody's thrilled with that. And we have children's field games on the field in the middle of the track. I have games for all the children. There's a lot of children that do come. And so we try to make it fun and exciting for them as well.
Do the kids walk? Because
do.
I've seen
They do.
Survivor kids that get it and
They
they
do.
want to participate.
Yes, we have quite a few children and quite a few survivors, caregivers, and
Some of the saddest stories are those of
the
children,
children, yeah.
which is another reason why we want to do this. Kids shouldn't have to face this kind of a disease.
Right. And I know, obviously, the American Cancer Society is big on things, including prevention, early diagnosis. I personally think that we're very lucky to live in New England where we live, because we have some of the most cutting-edge research. So just for some quick data points, American Cancer Society's Massachusetts chapter data says that an estimated 37,000 new cancer cases will be diagnosed in Massachusetts alone this year. 37,000. And 12,000 people in Massachusetts are expected to die from the disease this year. And that's all sorts of ages, all sorts of cancers. The ACS works on research, prevention, early detection, because the numbers are scary, but there's more than 90. This was a big one. 90 active research grants in Massachusetts. And I know I've done on this show breast cancer, and I know the American Cancer Society is funding a very important breast cancer research. We had the clinician here, or the researcher at UMass. So I'm sure there's a lot going on at UMass, as well as other Boston and Springfield and everywhere else. So 90 active research grants at Massachusetts institutions going on now, with more than $44 million in grant money. So the point is, every event, every contribution, every relay step, every smile counts.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Worcester has a great cancer center downtown here. My father's been going through that. He went through that for his chemo, but they also team up with Dana-Farber in Boston, who is wonderful as well. But Worcester does have a great cancer treatment center, too, as well.
There's so many, which is a good thing.
Right.
And I frankly should have dedicated this show. Someone who's surviving it now in my family, and it's very difficult to watch because it's to the point where it could be, it's live your life to the fullest. That's it. And luckily he's older and lived a very, very, very good life. But it is tough for caregivers. It's tough for people to watch. And it's tough for him because he knows that, I think. And we've talked about it. And it's very difficult. So let's talk about it being the 25th birthday. So you've done it 14 years, right? You've done it 10. So you guys have done it like at least half of the years it's been going on.
Yes.
Have you seen the numbers grow every year? Are we getting more people out or more money coming in?
I don't think it's growing, but we're finding whole new sets of people every year.
Yes.
And which is encouraging because the more people you can reach out to, the more people that find out what is available to them.
And that, too, that's why we're doing this show. Because I think, like I said at the beginning, we're talking about the Relay for Life. We're talking about the Worcester Walk in particular, which is at Burncoat High School. And we will put the websites up for more information. But it starts Friday, June 14th around 4 o'clock. You don't have to stay the whole time. As long as you're on a team and somebody's walking, you can come and go. But there's all these great events. And my guests are Denise McKenney and Susan Pierstead, who are both coordinators and longtime Relay for Lifers. And, that's the best person to explain this to us. So you have all of these events planned. Now, you've both been sharing your stories, personal stories, but is there anything from the Relay for Life in particular where, there's got to be, because I can think of my own, but Relay for Life where someone says to you, or that's a smile, or a thank you, or it could be a child or a person walking for the first time. Hey, I'm going to, you get someone for the first time, and then they're hooked. I bet you didn't think you were going to be doing, Susan, 10 of them in a row.
Right. It's encouraging when people come, and you're welcome to just come down and see what it's about. You don't have to join a team. You don't have to bring money. Just come down and see what it's about, because a lot of people stop by and they walk around and say, I never knew this was here, and I can't believe you guys are doing this, and they thank us, and how do I join, and things like that. So that's how word gets out. So if we can get just anybody that wants to come down, you don't have to
join a team.
You don't have to join a team. You don't even have to know anybody that has cancer. Just come down and see what we're all about. It's amazing the things that go on there and the camaraderie that we have there, and it just is phenomenal.
And I'll tell you what I love hearing. I love hearing stories of people that have battled this, like Denise, you were talking about, who now he's helping with the team in cooking, and he's battled 3 different types of cancer.
He has. It's amazing.
Yep.
Do anything come to your mind?
People,
a lot,
People
but
are surprised at what goes on, and
that it's so well organized.
Right, it's well organized. The luminaria ceremony is very emotional. If you know of anybody or just want to come down, it's a great time. We have a lot of fun. We remember people that have passed or people that are fighting. So please join us. Our website is www.relayforlife.org/Worcester, Mass, capital W, capital M.
But the beginning of it is what? Relayforlife.org. So anybody can go to relayforlife.org. You put in Massachusetts, or you search under your zip code, and that's how I did it.
Right.
So, and then you can you each have it, like I said, you each have a team page that explains why you're doing it, hopefully to encourage other people to do it. And we also should talk real quickly about the money also funds people getting rides to cancer treatment, to chemo, the Hope Lodge. There's different outlets in different communities of places where people can stay, correct?
Right. Because some cancer survivors that are going through treatment, their caregivers can't always be there. They can't always get them to the hospital for their treatments. So the American Cancer Society has their Road to Recovery, where people volunteer to actually go pick up patients and bring them to the hospital for their treatments, which is, is a great thing because, otherwise they wouldn't get their treatments.
Mm-hmm. And then, so we have the driving, and then we have the Hope Lodge, or we have housing for people.
There's also the cancer helpline, so you can get cancer information, advice, or hope, anything, 24/7. It's 1-800 227-2345.
Yeah, we can try and get that on our website
Yeah.
too. So, again, so I think people think of the American Cancer Society research. That's a bulk of what they do, but there's so much more to it than that.
Right. Hope Lodge is a place where cancer patients can go that live too far away from the hospitals. They can go, stay there, get their treatment, be in a facility that they can feel like they're at home.
Yeah. And you were talking earlier about Dana-Farber having, they're in various communities, they have various partnerships, but a family member of mine, extended family, who's going through this now, they did the drive to Brigham and Women's in Dana from Central Mass every single day for chemo at 7:30 in the morning. And, I just can't say enough about people that drive, the caregivers, watching his wife go through this, his kids go through this. And watching him, I'm sure, he has trouble talking because of the type of cancer it is. But, I know he feels badly about it. On top of everything else, mentally feels like I have to rely on these people. Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm putting them through. So, and for me, someone whose father is a recent cancer survivor, thanks to early detection, the fact that he even went to the, I don't know about it, I don't have the statistics, but I can speak about my father and a lot of men, my friends' fathers, they don't like to go for annual physicals and things like that. So the fact that he wasn't feeling, he was tired, it was just basics. He went for blood work, and they found it in his blood work. So there was no mass, no tumor. They found it early, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He was in Florida for this, but came back up here for treatment, and gets checked once a year. And so, it's just, I know so many inspiring people who are fighting it. And so I just want to thank you so much to the both of you and for everybody that participates in any of the Relay for Life. And again, American Cancer Society Relay for Life, June 14th, it starts in the afternoon at Burncoat High School in Worcester. We will put the websites, you can Google it, but we'll put the websites up on our website. I encourage you personally to donate, even if it's $5. Every dollar counts. And starting with one man in 1985 who was able to raise $27,000 on his own, who then was walking and came up with this idea. I think hopefully in our lifetime, we're starting to see a lot of very promising clinical trials and very promising research. And I think that the life expectancy rate is getting higher for some cancers because of all the work that is being done by the American Cancer Society and by people like you that are getting out for years and years and walking. So thank you so much to Denise McKenney
Thank you for having me.
and to Susan Pierstead,
Thank you.
both longtime Relay for Lifers in Worcester, and they really want to see you down there for the
Come down.
25th anniversary,
Please. Yes,
June
please
14th
come down.
15th in Worcester. Please come down. So again, if you want to donate money, time to volunteer, we will post the websites on our website, station website, and we hope that you will go out and help these wonderful women and all of these people who are surviving, and honoring those who haven't made it, to make it a better life going forward. So thank you very much for coming in, ladies.
Thank you.
That's Community Conversations. I'm Vicki Green. Have a wonderful day.